That's not the way to pitch. You want to show your client the end result that you're going to get for them. You need to show them what that end result is and that what you're doing in between is the process to get them there.
Be okay knowing that sometimes it will just be a low.
Exactly.
Some clients might leave you, a team member might leave, and that's okay. You need to be okay with not everyone's going to be a good fit to work.
Yeah, exactly.
And you should be the one saying, hey, we're not a good fit. Are you ready for this, bro?
I'm ready, brother. Let's
First time ever?
First time doing a podcast, mate. Like I said before, nervous, excited. I've kind of always wanted to do one. A few years ago, the thought of this, like, there's no way I would have done it. Like, freaked me out too much. But yeah, when you called me the other week, I was like, all right, yeah, let's do it. Like, you got to get out of your comfort zone, mate. Like, you've always got to keep pushing, and this is out of my comfort zone, so let's do it.
I love it, man. But the great thing as well is that you're in safe hands.
Thanks, mate.
I'll take care
I feel safe with you here.
I got you. If you're new here, my name is Nelson, and I'm the host of the Creative Grid podcast. And today we have an extraordinary individual as guest, as usual. His name is Henry Brockman. He's a filmmaker and an owner of a video production business. So today we will talk a lot about growing a video production, how to handle, growing a team, putting together a team, editing, all the good stuff. So let's just get into it, brother. For people that have no idea who you are, who are you? How do you got to where you are today? Tell us everything we need to know about you.
Nice, man. Yeah, Henry Brockman, originally from Western Australia. Actually grew up on a cattle farm in regional Western Australia. Lived in Perth, worked as a sparky, enjoyed the trade life, ended up running my own business for a little bit as a sparky, and always just felt like, as much as I enjoyed the trade and the kind of banter of being on site and working outdoors and working with your hands, I just always thought, I feel like there's something missing. Like, this isn't 100% what I want to be doing. And then kind of fell into photography and videography. And now I'm living on the Gold Coast, moved over to the Goldie, and have set up a business here now. Photography, videography, working with, for the most part, outdoor adventure-based brands and businesses. And it's a big change from where I first started and working as a tradie, and just spent so many hours trying to learn the skills of becoming a photographer, a videographer, and just crafting that skill set, I guess, to get to a level where I can sort of have that as a career, and still pushing to keep growing that business and keep growing that space. And man, it's been pretty cool so far. It's been a big journey and loving every step of it.
What made you take the jump from being a sparky? You had your own business. This is a skill that probably it took you many years to develop.
Yeah.
Like, what made you be like, okay, I'm gonna drop all of that? That at that point, I'm guessing it was like the safe zone to 100%. Pursue this thing of, I'm just gonna make videos for people now.
Yeah. I guess this is going way back. Like, so I grew up in the country. My parents always took me and my brothers on these epic camping adventures. So that's where the love of the outdoor adventure-based brands and businesses sort of came into play. But I remember we were camping up at Warra Station, this beautiful coastal station in Western Australia. And Dad got up super early one morning, as he does, got the campfire going and made some damper. Do you know what damper is?
No.
It's kind of like Australian outback bread in a way. Okay. Super simple. You throw it in a camp oven, throw the coals on top of the camp oven, and you make this bread essentially. And I watched Dad go through the process of making this damper and put a pot of coffee on and making this coffee. And then when it was all ready, he set it all up and had the bread with the steam coming out of it, with the ocean in the background and a cup of coffee there. And he was setting it up to take a photo. He's sort of into photography a little bit as well. And I remember him taking this photo and just being there, smelling the bread, smelling the coffee, that whole process. And then when the film got developed, seeing that photo and being like, holy shit, like I can almost smell the coffee. I could almost smell the bread. And it's that storytelling in that moment. I was like, far out. This is crazy how the emotions and senses that can kick through from an image. And I think that kind of sparked something super early on. But it wasn't at that point where I was like, oh, I want to be a photographer. Like, this is crazy. That was just something I thought about. I was like, wow, that kind of sparked something for me, I think. Growing up, went through my trade and loved that trade lifestyle, as I was saying before. And then did a bit of travel. And I was doing a snowboarding season in Italy, in Livigno. And I wasn't working at the time. I'd been working on the mines leading up to it. So I had a bit of cash and I was able to sort of go there for most of the season and not work and just snowboard the whole time, and had an absolute blast. But had a fall off one of the jumps, didn't injure myself severely, but enough that I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to ride for a few weeks kind of thing. And I was like, shit, what am I going to do? Like, I'm here on the mountain. I'm not working. Yeah. Like, I can't ride for a few weeks. Like, what am I going to do? And I was like, oh, I should grab a camera and just head up the mountain and start taking some flicks. And my brother was into his photography and videography, and he's incredible, Brockman visuals. So I've always sort of looked up to him and what he's been able to create. He's always sort of the artsy one in the family, I think. He's always sort of had that natural talent to be able to take good photos of that. I feel like I've had to kind of work a little bit harder to get there. I don't know. But so got a camera and hit him up, was like, you know what it's like when people ask you like, what's a good camera? Like, what camera should I buy? It's like, mate, how long's a piece of string? But he was my brother, so he had to just deal with all my little questions. But hit him up and sort of landed on an entry level camera, and just went up the mountain and started taking some photos. And there was a competition on with some sort of semi-pros at the time, and I hit up the crew. I was like, is there any chance I can like get up there and just take some photos? Like, they're like, yeah, sure, just stay across to the side there. Like, send them through to us at the end. We might be able to use some of them or whatever. I was like, oh, this is epic. Like, how good is this? So I was there taking these photos and just fell in love with it, like just playing around with the camera settings. And obviously I was absolute newbie to it. So like half of them were absolutely terrible, but like there was a couple cool ones. And then it was the whole process of getting it into Lightroom. And then that whole editing process just grabbed me. I was like, this is so sick. Like, I'm loving this. And then just immersed myself in it, like started doing so many YouTube courses and reviews, and started following other photographers and videographers and tried to learn the ways of how they were creating their images or their videos. And kept pushing myself in that direction, and then started falling into the videography side of things. And obviously that was another whole ball game, and like the learning process to that was huge. And then started investing in some sort of proper online courses to better my skills. And then I was still sort of traveling around a bit, and had sort of built up a bit of a skill set, and was just sort of filming adventures and trips that we were doing with friends. And a couple of our friends are great surfers and divers and that kind of thing. So sort of saw an opportunity to reach out to brands and be like, hey, we're doing this trip. Like, I'm a photographer, like videographer, you know, a bit of a fake it till you make it kind of thing. And sort of do these really basic, like cold call pitches to these brands. And I knew initially I wasn't going to be able to get big brands to sponsor us for these trips. So I was sort of targeting smaller brands that could potentially sponsor us, you know, that would be like, oh yeah, you know, a handful of photos and videos, we'll give you a bunch of free stuff. That's all I was looking for really at that point. And did a couple of trips and got a few sort of small brands to kind of sponsor us. They just gave us a bunch of free gear, and I was doing the trip with my friends anyway, so it was just kind of documenting it and then sent all the content back to them. And some of them were like, loving it, this is amazing. Some were like, oh, your work's pretty average, man. But that was just starting out, you know. You gotta take those hits and you learn from those hits. Like, that was heavy. That killed me. Like, I thought this was epic. I thought I was killing it. But that's just the way it is, and you learn from those mistakes. And then it just sort of kind of slowly snowballed from there. I just loved it so much that I just immersed myself in it and just wanted to learn everything I possibly could. And just kept building that skill set. And then friends and family started noticing a bit more. And then I didn't really know exactly what kind of niche I wanted to go down. So I sort of explored a little bit. And people were like, what about weddings? I was like, I don't know. So I think a lot of crew start off that way. Maybe some do, some don't. But I started doing a couple of weddings. And I think weddings are actually a great way to build your skill set because it's a lot of high pressure. You're there for that one day. You've got to capture every moment. If you miss that moment, there's no like, oh, sorry, can you just come back down the aisle for me? I actually just missed you there.
Can you do the kiss one more time in front of everyone?
In front of everyone. Yeah. It's like, let's do that again. Well, nah, you can't do that. So, did a couple of weddings, and I think that sort of helped build up your skill set a bit. Super high pressure. It's a full day, like 10-hour day, 8-hour day, whatever it is, sometimes even longer, depending on the deliverables for that client. And I think that helped really craft that more sort of cinematic style as well. But I didn't love doing weddings. I enjoyed it, and I loved how it put you under that sort of pressure to build up that skill set. But I didn't love doing weddings. And then a mate had a brand that he just started up, his sunglasses brand, and he wanted some content and started doing some basic sort of ads for him. And I was like, oh, this is cool, like short form content. It's still sort of cinematic in a way, but outdoor adventure based stuff. It was like a trade, but also lifestyle brand. And I was like, this is really cool. And just kept growing with him, creating all of his content for his brand, and they've escalated massively now. They're a multi-million-dollar business, and it's just super successful. And I was just, in a way, lucky to jump on board with that brand. And that, in that process, the sort of 4 years working with them, I was able to see a brand go from absolute zero. He was selling these products out of his bedroom to now being a multi-million-dollar business. All the sort of mistakes or do's and don'ts in marketing along the way to build a brand up to that level. And it was just such a cool process to be a part of. And then it just sort of grew into being like, okay, I love doing this kind of content, creating advertising and growing with a brand and helping them escalate. And the connection you make with those clients as well when you build a brand like that. I mean, obviously, I was just doing the content creation, building that brand. They had an incredible marketing team to do all of that. But it's just such a cool process to be a part of that and growing. So, fell in love with that, and then decided, that's my sort of niche. That's what I want to be doing, is creating that sort of short form content to help build a brand and grow a brand. It's so rewarding to be a part of that process. Yeah. So, then here on the Gold Coast, I invested in a sales marketing coach. Which
that's how we met.
That's how we met. That's why we're here today. You're putting me under this pressure. That's and that helped me. I was at a point where, like, I'd done some other trips in the last sort of year and a half, and we did a sailing trip to Lord Howe Island and had a bunch of great surfers with us and great divers. And I was like, this is what I want to be doing. I want to pitch to brands again, like I did back in the day, but that was just like reaching out, cold calling, that kind of thing. And I had a friend who was in marketing, and he helped me set up an ad campaign to get warm leads, to get brands contact me from what we were pitching, and then create a pitch deck, base level pitch deck, and then get in contact with them and run them through the whole pitch, what we're offering, what the return is for them, blah, blah, blah. And that trip was incredible, and filming so much different content, surfing, diving, spearfishing, sailing was just epic. And I was like, all right, I need to be able to do this more consistently for brands. But doing trips like that there's so much logistics involved in something like that, so much organization. Plus, it was a bunch of mates doing a trip. Initially, it wasn't about the content creation at all. It was like, it's like, we're doing a sailing trip to Lord Howe Island. This friend of mine said, do you want to come along? Because I'd done a little bit of sailing with him. So he was comfortable to have me on the boat helping out. And I was like, keen. Why don't we turn this into a bit of a sponsored trip where we can get some brands on board, and all the other crew were like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's difficult when it wasn't initially organized like that, because there is that same part of that trip where it's like, these guys are going on a holiday, sailing holiday. It's a trip, but I didn't want to be directing too much on that kind of trip, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be.
Yeah, it's a whole different vibe. Like, they're there for fun and you're there thinking about the opportunities that can come out of this trip.
100%. 100%. Yeah. So that was great. And I'd love to do more of those, but at a higher level where it's planned out for the content creation, for the brands. But in the interim, I was like, okay, I need to think of ways to sort of make that a bit easier, make the process a bit shorter. And so it's more of a consistent, ongoing thing. And then doing the course with Etten was just the key that I needed. It was the tool that I needed to give me the guidance of how to pitch to clients, how to create a proper pitch deck, how to narrow in on your niche and target that niche and bring them to you.
Yeah.
And that has just changed everything for me massively.
Yeah. And just being able to package everything as well, that you present a certain package, you name it, you put a system together, and then you naturally show them how this will get a specific result.
Exactly.
So that, like, being able to do that and understand those frameworks of how do I package the specific service for a specific target market? How do I get them to come to me or get in front of them? How do I present this in a way that they understand and they see the value, but also will get them a specific result?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So prior to that, the pitching that I was doing for this other stuff was like, I'm going to be creating all this epic content. Like, you know, it's going to be so great. Like, we've got this guy.
Yeah.
I'll create this many videos, this many photos. This is how much I want.
Yeah.
But that's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the way to pitch. You want to show your client the end result that you're going to get for them. There's the whole bunch of content that you're creating for them is going to get them there.
Yes.
But you need to show them what that end result is.
Yeah.
And that what you're doing in between is the process to get them there. And so it was a completely different shift of how I was pitching to clients. And putting the whole pitch together as well was so different to what I was doing with pitches before.
How so?
I think probably the process of how I was doing it. I hadn't had any sales experience whatsoever. So I think just the way I was explaining the process to them, like I said, I think I was just saying, this is what we're going to do, all this epic content, rather than guiding them through the journey of the end result that we're going to provide to them and how that's going to benefit them and get them to their goals, you know?
Yeah.
It's been a massive learning curve, but it's just been unreal. It's just sort of changed the business for me. It's got me out of doing the odd day sparking here and there to fill up the bank account to now having it as a full-time job. Yeah. And that was something that I'd always wanted to do. And it was, you know, one of those goals. And I've got to that point now where I'm like, sick. I don't need to pick up the tools anymore. Yeah. My tools are my camera rather than a screwdriver and a pair of pliers. I'm like, this is epic.
It feels awesome.
It feels so good. And then when you get when you look, I was thinking about this the other day. Like you look at how you perceive success, and like you hear of people saying like, "Oh, you've made it! Like you've done it, you've made it." And back then you're like, "Oh, what do I want to be doing? I want to be doing that full time. Like that's all I want to do." You get to that level, and then you're just looking ahead again. Like you're at that point, which was such a big goal for you back then, but then you're like, "Nah, that's not my goal. That's not the success. Like I want to keep going." Like. And your goals keep getting bigger and bigger, which is you just obviously want to keep pushing yourself. But it's funny, like, I don't know if there's ever a point where you're like, yes, I've made it. That's success. But I think success is the journey of pushing yourself and getting to those goals, but enjoying that process. Like being happy and enjoying that process. Success is being happy and enjoying life. Like, that's success to me.
And it sounds cliche and cheesy, like so it's all about the journey. It really is.
Yeah.
The more I was having recently a bit of conflict in my mind. I did a shrooms trip with one of my best friends, and we had so much fun. Everything's
shrooms
good.
trip?
What was that?
Did you say shrooms trip?
Yeah, shrooms trip.
Yeah.
And then after the trip and everything, you know, your mind keeps just hanging into different thoughts and just going deeper and all these things. And it's hard when you are in the day to day, because we do so much when you run your business, and you know, you have to take care of your clients. When you have a team, you have to do a lot of management. A lot of energy goes into that. You still have to plan for the things that you're trying to achieve. So, okay, how are we gonna stay on top? You have to create your own content.
Yeah.
You have to make time, in our case, for our podcast. You know, like you have to take care of overheads and finances and tracking and keeping data, so you know that things are working and growing.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a glimpse of everything that's going on, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to just sit down and reflect for a moment, like you were saying. Wait, I'm actually where I was dreaming to be a few years ago. Like, if you ask Nelson of 4 or 5 years ago, or even 7 years ago, which is when I've properly started making videos, or just trying to understand how to put together videos.
Yeah.
Like, hey, in the future, you're going to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this one thing. You're not going to be a dentist like you were supposed to be.
Yeah.
You're going to have a team. You're going to be, you know, the creator of your time. You literally will decide every day what to do, when to do it, how to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to be working with super high level clients that are trying to have a massive impact in the world. You're going to be the vehicle for them to have that impact. You know, like, if you tell me all these things, I would just be like, no way.
Yeah.
That can't be me.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
You know, it's impossible.
Yeah.
So now I look back and everything makes sense. I can connect the dots. Like, wow, yeah, like I made it happen.
Yeah.
You know, I put the time, I put the effort, I put the energy, I put the belief. I went against everything I was told I should be in order to make this crazy dream a reality. Now I'm here.
Yeah.
But the mountain keeps moving. Once you get to the top of the mountain, you're like, I made it. But then you see, like, oh, I didn't want it to get here. I actually want to get there. And you set up another journey, a different mountain.
Yeah.
The mountain and the goal always keeps moving. You never get to a place, and that's the beauty of life. I believe that it's an infinite game. You never get to a place where you're like, I have everything I've ever wanted. Because if I think about it, I already do. You know, I still have my family. I have, you know, a beautiful, loving partner. I have incredible friends, deep relationships. I have more money than I ever thought I could make. I have a successful and growing business. I have an elite team. I was thinking about all these things. I'm still smart, strong, capable, skillful. But it was almost like that conflict of, I feel like I have everything I ever wanted, and it still is not enough.
Yeah.
So I was having a little bit of conflict with that recently, and just trying to understand what matters and what doesn't, what is important. Because then in the end, you're going to be gone at any point.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't matter what you're doing. You can hoard a bunch of money and things, but at some point, will it matter if you're gone? You can have a bunch of impact as well, like, but you will be gone, and maybe just the next generation will remember you. You will be forgotten in 2 or 3 generations completely.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Even if your name is everywhere, even if you set up businesses, you put your name in schools and all these things, no one will care. No one will know. Like, who's that guy? Nelson Ferreira.
Who's that guy with the hat on all the time?
Does anyone knows? Why is there a statue of a guy with a hat in there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You will be forgotten.
Yeah.
regardless of what you do, regardless of how much money you made, how much impact. So I was having this little conflict in my head of, fuck, I already have everything I ever wanted and more. Because there's things that I didn't even know I wanted that I needed.
Yeah.
That I got.
Yeah.
And it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's never enough. So it really is about enjoying the journey the most you can, trying to have people that you care about, that you can provide and serve, having your own way of making an impact in the world, even if you know that you will be forgotten.
Yeah.
Because what's the alternative? I then came to the conclusion to what's the alternative of not caring, of not doing, of not trying. It's just breathing air and being ungrateful that you had this crazy chance of being alive.
Yeah.
So you're gonna waste that. You're gonna waste the one opportunity that you have of building the life of your dreams, of helping other people achieve their dreams, or serving people to a point where you can help them get somewhere where they're trying to go, whether it's with your video skills or just any other skills. And just to have fun as well, right?
Yeah.
Like
100%. Like I was, you get the stresses of work and especially before a shoot, always like going a million miles an hour thinking, all right, have I got this organized? Is everything ready for this shoot? It needs to be perfect. I've got this one chance to shoot it. I need to nail it. And I was going through all those notions yesterday, just about to go for a shoot. And I was shooting some surfing content in the water with the water housing, which is always a dream. I was like, that's sick. And I had all my gear on. And I was walking out the door and I caught myself in the mirror and I was like, sick. Got all my camera gear. I'm geared up to go film some surfing right now. Frothing. And I was like, sick. Like, forgot about all the worries. It's like, I've got everything organized because I'm that kind of person where I wig myself out so much that I need to have everything organized so it goes smoothly. So I was like, everything's set in place. Everything's going to go smoothly. Enjoy it. And it was just the best session ever. The guy I was filming with was a legend. It was the first time I'd met him. He was absolutely epic on camera. It was so easy to work with him. We vibed out. It was awesome and just absolutely frothed. It was the best afternoon ever. I was just filming surfing. Like I was like, far out. This is such a sick job. I love this. Yeah. Enjoy the process. Enjoy all of it. Editing, everything. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm locked in my room, like in the office, just editing away. And then it's like, well, this is sick. Remember why I got into this in the first place? Like crafting these images or these videos in Lightroom, doing the color grading in Final Cut Pro. I'm just like, that's all so epic. And you just got to keep reminding yourself that, I think.
Yeah. This is your reminder to enjoy your process. It's different for everyone. The milestones are different. The goals obviously differ as well. But wherever you are, doesn't matter if you're at the very beginning, if you're in the middle of chaos, if you have to do some pivoting at this point in time, or you're succeeding, just really enjoy that time because it comes and goes. I have a mastermind also with other video filmmakers and video production business owners. And it's really interesting how every week someone is on the low. Someone is having a shit week. Things are not going right. Having issues with delivery or clients or team members or, finances, whatever it is. And some of us will be winning. They're like, I literally had one of the best, if not the best week of the year last week.
Yeah, I remember you saying that on the phone.
It wins back to back. All clients stoked, new testimonials, delivery went exactly to plan, shoots were exactly to plan, finances were great, new clients. And then you're almost like, you almost don't want to enjoy it because you're like, wait, does this mean that next week is going to be really bad? So you almost have to retrain yourself to be like, no, it's okay to enjoy it. It's okay to be stoked. Let's go. Of course, we have the best week of the year because we've been working towards this.
100%.
And guess what? Next week is going to be even better. You almost have to trick yourself into believing that it can always get better. We can always replicate that week. Why does it have to get bad?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, it's all about that positive mindset.
Yeah.
Like you hear it all the time. And
Yeah.
when you start doing it, you're like, man, it's so true. And yeah, you all have those moments where you're struggling, like have a rough week, like work's just stressing you out. But you just got to keep that positive mindset because it always comes back up. You always have those moments where you're like, epic. I'm feeling so great right now. Work's going good. Social life's epic. Like you're just on an absolute high.
Yeah.
And enjoy it, lap it up.
Yeah.
It's just a up and down process.
And be okay where knowing that sometimes it will just be a low.
Exactly.
That things won't go to plan, that some things will go wrong, that some clients might leave you, that a team member might leave, that a project won't come out exactly the way that you expected it to be. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. It's perfectly fine because you know it's going to bounce back up again. You just go through the notions. And
take your learnings, keep moving forward. And I know this is getting a little bit deeper. I didn't even expect that I was going to get this deep. I was like,
positive mindset, guys.
Talking about the deepest things of life. But it really is important because everything starts with your mindset.
Yeah.
You know, having a successful video production business, podcast agency, or whatever you're trying to do, it all comes down first with mindset. Being able to understand that it is a roller coaster, getting comfortable with the unknown as well, knowing that some weeks are going to be awesome, some weeks are going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But if you can enjoy the journey and you're constantly improving and optimizing as you go, learning from your mistakes, studying what you did, what worked, why that didn't, there's no way that you won't get somewhere. I guarantee you, if you keep the consistency, if you do that for a long enough time and you keep improving, you're not doing the same things and replicating the same bad results. You're always optimizing, trying new things, getting coaching, testing different ways of trying to get to where you're trying to go. I guarantee you, you will get somewhere eventually.
Yeah.
I haven't met someone that has done the one thing that they love so much for 5 years and they have tried different things. They have made mistakes and optimized that they're always focusing on deliver world-class results for their clients, that they're always seeking to improve themselves, that they're aiming to build a team that can help them, you know, leverage their time, efforts, and what they're trying to do, that haven't got somewhere in 5 years.
Yeah, it's consistency, hey?
Yeah.
With everything. Like if you've got your personal goals, say you're
absolutely
trying to gain weight, gain muscle, it's going to the gym consistently. It's the same thing with work.
The same thing.
Stay consistent, remain consistent, just keep chipping away at it and you'll get there. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I wanted to touch a little base on something you mentioned, which was weddings. That was to you one of the best ways to actually learn as a filmmaker. I absolutely agree with that. Weddings is that one thing where you have to make the best of the time that you have there. I would suggest if you're starting out, put yourself in a position where you have to do the wedding by yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to level up very quickly, doing a wedding by yourself will help you do that.
100%. 100% great.
You will come out completely different as a filmmaker or even a photographer. It's easier to do a wedding. To be honest, photography is way easier. But if you're trying to be a filmmaker, if you do a wedding by yourself, man, that is one of the hardest things ever. Because you can't miss any moments. You have to make sure that you're recording good quality audio as well. Ideally, you will have a few camera setups running all at the same time. Things are always running late, so you're gonna be running around depending on locations of where the bride is and the guys are. You might have to do some travel in between, and then go to the ceremony. From there, get ready everything to reception. You need batteries, you need SD cards, you need good management of everything you're doing, and a charging station. From there, sunset as well. Capturing those really good shots. You can't miss those key moments moments that won't happen again. And if you do miss them, the client is going to ask, hey, where's the rings? Where's the keys? And if you don't have an answer for them, they will not be happy. They will not recommend you. They might even ask for a refund. Man, weddings.
I've got like a little hectic story. Well, not hectic, but one of those moments at a wedding where it just almost went completely wrong for me. And it was missing the bride walking down the aisle. Hectic. Like one of the most crucial parts of a wedding, getting the bride walking down the aisle. So we'd filmed the guys get ready, went to the girls, filming them getting ready. And the makeup artist or something was taking a little bit longer on one of the girls, and it just blew out that sort of time frame, and we're there with them that whole time because we wanted to stay to capture the dad seeing her daughter like all dressed up for the first time, the first look. Anyway, so we wasted a bit of time there, and then we're looking. Me and the photographer were like looking at our watch, like, shit, we've got to get there. This is meant to be kicking off pretty soon. Like, I was like, I've got to set up another camera on a tripod. I got to get audio on the mic there and everything. Like, I got a fair bit to set up, dude. We need a hustle. Boosted there, got there as quick as we could. And I had my camera, my main camera that I was shooting with, running around getting all B-roll and that kind of thing on the gimbal. And I had it locked off because I was like, all right, set up. I've got it all set. It's just locked off. I'll go set everything else up real quickly. So setting the other camera up on the tripod. Actually, there was two moments at this wedding. Actually, it was kind of hectic. So set the other camera up on the tripod, got the audio set up, and as I was doing the last bits of the audio, the bride started coming down the aisle. I was like, oh my God, like quickly get out of the way, grab my camera and the gimbal, press record. Oh, sorry, turn the gimbal on, press record. I was just freaking out. Forgot to unlock it all, right? And it just started like, no, I unlocked one, but I didn't lock the base spin. So I started filming, and then obviously when they lock up and the motor's under too much pressure, it starts to shut down. So I was filming the bride walking down the aisle, dude, and my camera on the gimbal just starts going.
No,
I'm like, oh my God, like what the hell's going on? Freaking out. So I'm holding the gimbal and then trying to hold the camera up like this. I'm doing like a double gimbal thing. Like it was absolute mayhem. Like, and my focus was a little bit out initially. I was like, oh my God, like just waiting for that focus to grab it. Just grabbed in time, like just in the nick of time that I was able to capture enough of her walking down the aisle to make it work. But like it was a super short piece of her walking down the aisle. I was like, God, I hope that's enough, like to get me through come post production. And it was just enough. And then the other thing which I didn't realize, I'd set the other camera up on the tripod up the back, like looking down the aisle. But I didn't realize, I didn't get told this. Once they'd walked through the aisle, the whole crowd was standing and was filling in that whole area.
So completely blocked out.
Completely blocked out, man. So I'm trying to like film everything on the gimbal down here, and I'm looking back up at that camera going, oh my God, I'm missing like this crucial shot from up above here. So I've like dropped my camera down and the gimbal on the ground, like run back up, like telling everyone, excuse me, coming through.
It's coming through.
Big tripod legs like popping into grandma and stuff, just going, oh my God, this is hectic. But managed to pull it off, like drop the tripod in place and then got the other camera rolling and managed to somehow pull it off. But holy shit, the stress that I was going through, because I was shooting it by myself, like you said, shoot a wedding by yourself. You're running two cameras, audio, everything's happening.
Shooting a wedding by yourself as a filmmaker will show you what you're made of. We'll reveal exactly what kind of person you are. No, so I thought that was a good point to touch. If you're new in it, find something like weddings if you want to level up as quickly as possible, because you're going to have to learn also all the different aspects of it. Weddings is one of those unique cases where you have to learn how to get good audio, how to get cinematic shots, how to capture interview type of thing that
Yeah.
is the ceremony itself and the speeches, that you need to be just quick, run and gun to capture things that are gonna happen
2
on
moments walking
site.
down the aisle, like capturing the bride, but then capturing the groom if he's tearing up. Like
Exactly. You need to
everything's all
understand
happening.
lighting as well, because you will be put, I guarantee you, where they do the reception and all the things, and depending of how long the wedding goes for, you're gonna have to deal with sunny conditions, with sunset, and then night conditions as well, and just shitty usually lighting within those places where dinners or receptions take place. So get onto some weddings if you're starting up. That will help you level up very quickly. Now, I want to touch base with sales and marketing, which is your latest business coaching that you got, and that probably changed everything in terms of the business. How important are sales and marketing for videographers? When should they learn it in your experience? And what exactly should they focus on specifically on sales and marketing in order to run a successful business?
Based on like what we've done with Ayrton, that kind of thing?
Based on your own learning so far.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So the sales process, I've never been a salesy kind of person and have always hated that side of things. Just didn't really, I don't like to push people. Like I'm one of those people that I want to be mates with ya, and if I'm being slightly annoying, like I'm like, oh, this feels uncomfortable to me. I don't like it. You need to kind of get yourself into that mindset where you might seem a little bit pushy, but you kind of need to do it a little bit in order to explain to this potential client the benefit that you're going to have for them with whatever your pitch is to them. So the sales process was tricky for me. And through this course of Ayrton's, I learnt that process, and having a kind of script, I guess, that you can work off to prompt your clients with questions that they might not have even thought about for their own success, you know? So losing track of where I was going there. But it was learning that sales process, figuring out a system that you can stick to tell your clients how you're going to benefit them, basically, how you're going to get them to success, how you're going to get them to their goals. Doing the sales calls initially, like those first calls, I was so nervous, like super nervous. I don't know why. I think it's just because you're trying to sell yourself and you're doing it for the first time. And I was like super, super nervous. I can remember the first call. I was like, all right, I need to put myself up. Like, I've got my little script in front of me. Is it all there? Like, so nervous, man. And like, got through it. Didn't make the sale, but that's all right. Like, on to the next one. And I wasn't as nervous. And then you get different people, super friendly, want to have a chat, and you get more comfortable with it. And it's just that consistency. Now I'm so confident ringing a client and offering our pitch to them. And I feel great doing it. And you sort of craft your own way of doing it as well. Like, I was sticking directly to this script and a way of the sales process, but I kind of went off that a little bit because you do it based on who you are as a person and how you generally conduct yourself with people. I'm pretty laid back and I like to have that laid back approach with my clients in general because I become good, close friends with them, and I want to maintain that throughout the course of working with them. So you kind of grab the sales techniques and mold them a little bit into you personally, because I don't like to change who I am if I'm pitching to someone, because then it's not authentic to me and my brand and my style of creating content for people, you know? So, it's a crucial part of running a business, and you want to make those sales, you want to keep growing, keep succeeding. You need to learn that skill set and fine tune it to your style, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you have to, like we were saying before, you have to talk to, if you talk to a specific target market, it gets easier, right? Because first you understand exactly what their pain points and desired outcomes are. And how your specific product or service, in this case, your videos, can help them get a specific outcome.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And then if you package all of that and you create your offer or your irresistible offer, as some people will call it, then it gets easier to sell it, but you still need to understand how to sell.
Exactly.
Because you will have objections.
Yeah.
You will have people that will say, oh, I need to think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, right now is not the
I
right
need to
time.
speak to my business partner. It's
Exactly.
like, okay, let's do another call. Bring the business partner along.
And if you're coming from the right place in terms of you know what's the value that potential clients could get from your offer, and you know how much this can benefit your potential clients to get a specific outcome, whether that is growing their brand or getting more leads or establishing themselves as an authority. If you're confident in that, and that's why it's so important to get clear on what exactly you are helping them to achieve, the sales part gets a lot easier.
100%, yeah.
It's gonna be very uncomfortable to do the first 50 or something.
Man, yeah.
It's a pain. It is very uncomfortable. Like you say, like, I don't think it's just you. I think all of us as creatives as well. And when you get to this point where you understand, I need to do some sales, it is very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that you're used to. You're not used to pitching people. Usually people come to you because someone referred you or because they saw your work maybe online and they're like, hey, we want to work with you. So they're almost like pre-sold on that they want to work with you.
Yeah.
But the issue with word of mouth and clients that are coming through maybe because they saw your work or something, you can't quantify that. You can't predict how many of them are going to come every month. So it should be almost like the icing of cake. You do need some sort of lead generation system, but once they get to the door, you need to help them cross the door.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people will come and they're like, oh, I'm not too sure if this is going to help me with what I'm trying to do. Oh, I'm not too sure if this is going to take too much time of me in order to make happen. Oh, I might not have time to even post that content afterwards. So you kind of, ideally, your offer will solve all those pain points. You know, that you will package it all in a way where you almost like get in front of the objections before they even come. Like, oh, hey, this is exactly for people that is time poor. So they can't say like, oh, I don't really have time for this specific thing. Or, oh, this is it. How do I know this is gonna help with my messaging? Oh, we have a strategy session so that we get clear on who you're speaking to on those videos. So you speak to the right target market. So you if you can solve more problems, it becomes more valuable and it's easier to sell as well because you can anticipate all those objections. But even then, if it doesn't matter how good, like to give you an example, our business has currently the best offer. I haven't seen anyone that is doing the same exact thing that we're doing. When it comes to podcasting, we produce video podcasts at the highest level. And not only the production level of it, but also like the understanding of podcasting and the systems and the data analysis behind podcasting and the management of the content itself. That is a lot of content that we produce for clients. Man, we have it all packed in such a great, beautiful, easy way for clients to have a successful, profitable podcast. And even then, you get things about it. You get people that I need to check, with my team. I need to do this. So that's where having the sales skills of just being able to break down those objections so that you can help your potential prospect to get a desired outcome. So now for me, it's so easy. And I'm so comfortable breaking down those objections and try to, help them understand. Because in the end, you're there to help your potential, your prospect to make a decision. Whether he's working with you or not working with you, you're there to help them figure it out, what's the right call to action. If they don't want to work with you, that's fine. That's so good. And you should never come from a place of neediness. That's why I think the best way to do that is just to get a few wins initially, or some way where cash flow is not that much problem, so that you don't show up on a sales call being needy.
Yeah. That's it.
People can smell that from kilometers away.
Yeah. And I think at the start, like anyone, that's what you do. You're like, I want this job. I want every little job I can get. And you take on some jobs at the start that just aren't, they don't mesh with your niche. It might not be directly in your niche, but it's like, oh, I'll try all that because I want to kind of just give this a crack.
Yeah.
And it's not the right thing to do, but you're going to do that initially.
Yeah.
But like you say, once you've got a few under your belt and you've had so much success for these clients, you know that what you're creating, what you're offering is so beneficial to these clients that they can get their dream goal and get the outcome that they want.
Yep.
That whole selling process, that sales process becomes so much easier because you're so confident in what you're doing that it works. You know you've got the success because you know you can get it for them.
Yeah.
Then there's the other end of the spectrum. You get leads come through and you've got to figure out which ones you want to work with. Yes. You don't want to work with every single lead that comes through. Yes. They might have financial issues. They might not be quite within your niche.
Yeah.
They might be asking too much or a little bit extra from your package that's not what you provide. And if they say, no, we don't want it, well then, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're not going to be suited to working with each other. Yeah. And that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not being needy. So once you figure that out and you get comfortable with it, you know what your offering's great. You know who you want to work with. You don't come across needy on those calls because you know exactly who you're working with, what you're offering, what you're going to do, and how much success you're going to create for these clients.
And you have done it that many times that you're extremely confident as well that this thing will pay it off or this thing will get you exactly what you're looking for. So it doesn't come across as salesy. It's more of, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help. That's the way in my mind I approach things these days. And my mindset when I go into a sales call, I'm here to serve this person. I need to help them make a decision, whether it's working with us or working with someone else. I always focus on providing value to them as well on the call. I want them to, even if they decide not working with us or whatever it is, that they can take something away from that call and even take it to somewhere else and, or implement it yourself. But if I know I did my best to provide you some value, I feel awesome afterwards. And who knows, they might come back as well later on down the track. Because they were like, you know what, I spoke to him,
he gave me some great advice. Exactly. I literally had that exact thing yesterday.
Nice.
So was running my ads, guy reached out, provided the pitch to him. He's like, I need to speak to my business partner about this. We'll have a chat. I was like, no dramas, mate, let's jump on another call with your business partner, and we can run through it. He called me sort of out of the blue yesterday. And he was like, oh, mate, so I've been looking at this other option and it's a completely different package to what I'm offering. But I was like, mate, that could be really beneficial to you. That could be fantastic. But have you thought about this side of things? They're offering this package, but they're not offering this in the background. We're now offering marketing and social media management in our packages that we're offering to our clients. And that aspect wasn't really a part of this other crew. And I said, mate, that's great. If that's the path you want to go down, that's awesome. But just when you're looking into that contract with them, think about these other things in the background. Make sure you ask them these questions to make sure that you're benefiting completely out of that contract. He's like, mate, I really appreciate this. Like, regardless, I want to do some work with you in the future. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But he was super stoked. And he said, like, mate, I really appreciate what you've just done, having this conversation with me and guiding me into this other potential client. It's like,
and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because guess what? If those people also don't serve them at a highest level or they don't get the result,
who are they going to come back to?
Where is he going to go? To you. So you always have to think on and from the framework of abundance. It doesn't matter if they work with me. They might come later down the track. Same thing for us now. I've sent people to, like I've told them like, hey, maybe we're not the right fit for that. Or if they say like, oh, we actually have other options that we're looking. I'm like, great. Make the best decision for yourself. If it's not with us, awesome. And this is another thing that I know it's hard to kind of really get it when you are hungry for when you need money. But you need to be okay with not everyone's gonna be a good fit to work.
Exactly.
And you should be the one saying, hey, we're not a good fit.
Exactly.
Because the headaches that come when someone is not a good fit and you are just doing it for the money and you're like, you know, it's okay. It's just, it's gonna be fine. Man, I already paid my mistakes in the past for taking on a client that I knew wasn't the right fit, that they come with a traumatic almost past from previous content creators or filmmakers or podcast agencies, and they're never happy with anything. And I go into the mindset of, no, I will be the one that is going to make them happy, and nothing does. Even if you have the highest level of service and you know you're getting even the results for them, ultimately they're never happy with anything. And you knew it. You saw the red flags, but you say yes because you wanted the money. So I know that one can be a tricky one, but definitely.
But they're those mistakes that you learn from, right?
Exactly.
Everyone does that. Like you take on clients that you had this little hunch, like I probably shouldn't take this guy on or whatever, but like I need the money right now, or I kind of want to try this other avenue, or I want to show him that we can do it. And some clients you just cannot satisfy, and it just might not work out, or whatever, and they're just not a great fit for you and what you're offering, and they can't see that return that you are providing for them. And it's like, okay, you need to figure out who those people are, and just be wary of them, and making sure that you're taking on the clients that you want to take on. But you're going to go through that initially, and that's just learning from those mistakes.
And there's a way, also like a little thing in the background when you take someone that is not all in with you, or you had to do. That's why also like I don't like going and really trying to convince people hard that hey, we're the. I present all the information. I will try to, if you have some objections that come naturally, or you're a person that sometimes, you know, they do need a little bit of help to make a decision. I will show you everything. I'll give you enough information to make a decision, but I won't be like, man, you know, you 100% need to do this because otherwise I don't try to be that guy, because I also have realized that the clients that get the best results are the ones that are all in.
100% in,
So I tell people like, hey, even when we have a call, we give them 24 hours to make a decision. And the reason behind that is because first, we can't really take that many people every month because of the amount of work and pressure that puts on our system and our business, but also because we want action takers and people that are all in. That's it. Find the people that are resonating with you, with your product, with your offer, with your service, that you know that you can help, and just help them make a decision, whether it's working with you or with someone else. In my experience, if you go really hardcore in selling, and I have seen this for other businesses around us as well, that they hardcore sell, they get someone in their programs or as a client that it wasn't initially a good fit, but you know, you managed to push them through to make the decision, and then they end up dropping, or they're not happy, or they just want to stop working with you at some point because they were like, oh, this is not getting me as fast as I thought, or whatever it is. So you do want, in my experience, I've found that the best thing is to find people that get to be all in with you 100%. And what you're doing.
How great's that feeling when you get onto a new lead and they've done a little bit of research into you, and they're like, man, I love your content. I love what you're doing. That blends so well with our brand. It's so on brand for us. Like, I'd love to get some of your content creation. You're just like, that's epic. Let's do it. Like,
it's like a perfect match. You know, and then when you get someone that they like, you're on the sales calls and they're almost like, you haven't even got to the paycheck, they're already sold on it. They're just like, just tell me how much it is. I'm ready. You know how good it feels knowing that they've been looking for you. You just need a way to get in front of them and show them how you can get that specific outcome that they want. Like some of the clients that we have now, man, it's so cool. We have, especially all the new ones, because we made so many mistakes taking some clients that weren't the right fit. And now just taking the people that we know we can help, it's so different. It's like night and day, man. They're all super excited to work with us, to jump on the calls, on the strategies. They can't wait for shoot day. They know this will get them results.
Yeah.
It's longer partnerships as well. So that's another thing. Like, ideally, you want to work with people for a long time, especially if you're in this
100%.
industry, because as we know, there's just so much that you can do for a brand or a business doing a few videos.
Yeah.
You know, even a brand story video, there's just so much that will help them in terms of their goals, what they want to do.
Yeah.
So you want to find ways in packaging your offer where is that, you know, whether it's 6 months, 12 months that you're going to be partnering with.
Yeah.
And first, your relationship with those clients is completely different, as you were saying. Like for us, like our clients are almost like really good mates.
Yeah.
You know, we
100%.
we spoke with them, we speak to them consistently. You know, we understand exactly what they're trying to do. We know exactly where things are not going well for them.
Yeah.
We give them support to a different level. There's stuff that no one tells you that you have to do.
Yeah.
But it's kind of happens naturally because of the relationship that you have developed with the clients, right? And you get to be the person that takes them from that place that they were previously to achieving XYZ goals because you stay longer with them. And it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, and you understand how the business works, how their team works, and it makes it so much easier to grow with them. It's just like a big, well-oiled machine, you know, you're all working together so well.
Exactly.
You communicate really well. You become mates with them. Sometimes I'm on the phone to guys, I'm just talking about surfing for like the first 20 minutes. It's like, sick. Kind of forget that, you're at work in a way. But building those relationships and growing with them, building brands, it's the most rewarding thing. They're so stoked on what you're doing for them. You're so stoked on the success you've created for them. It's an achievement in yourself, and it's just so rewarding. So building those relationships
what
is
are
huge.
3 pieces of advice that you will give to a young videographer in order to build a more profitable or a better running, successful video production business?
100% consistency, like remaining consistent in what you're doing and pushing forward. You'll have setbacks, cop it on the chin, learn from it, and just keep chipping away at it. Consistency is huge. Like there's been a couple of times where I've been like, maybe I'll just jump back on the tools, like subby to someone. It's just so easy. I don't have to think as much. I don't have all this stress. Like all these clients hit me up. I've got so much to get through this week. Push through, because you, like we said before, you have those ebbs and flows. So consistency, number one. A second thing is investing in yourself. So investing in courses and like upgrading yourself, I guess, is or up leveling is massive. I remember investing in a course where I was pretty skint, and I was like, I'm certain this course is going to help me and push past that barrier that I was kind of at, and it did. It just pushed me through massively and help create some success for me and help grow. So I think consistency, up leveling, investing in yourself, and the third one is just enjoying the process. Like as corny as that kind of sounds, but otherwise you get down and you just get in the slums, and like you've just got to remember, like the good times are there. It's always good. You just stress yourself out sometimes. It's like just enjoy the process. Like when you are filming, just think, oh my God, like I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. I'm in this creative job that I've always wanted to do. I've, depending if you've come from a trade or whatever else, you've dentist, even if you've just always wanted to be a videographer or a photographer, it's just enjoy every little process. Just be happy.
Yeah, I love that. And if you notice, he didn't say anything about invest in a better camera.
Oh man,
nothing is about the gear. It really isn't. What's your take on does gear matters? And I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
It's funny. So yes and no, and I remember when I was learning and was watching so many YouTubers, and they were all saying, it's not about the gear. It's not about the gear. And it's not. you need to have the skills to make a video look good. Mm-hmm. People using Super 8s, old school cameras, how epic are they? Yeah. But, that's a kind of trending thing at the moment. But within the last year, I invested in a new camera, and it sped up my process, especially in post-production. So it benefited me massively in that respect.
Yeah.
But it is 100% about the skills in how you tell a story and getting that cinematic look and learning the ways of operating that camera that you've got.
Yeah.
But I think there is a level of, if you're shooting a documentary that's going on TV, you're not going to be doing it with your iPhone.
Yep.
But then again, there's guys filming epic stuff on GoPros. I mean, it's a completely different style of filming, but I think there's two parts to it.
Yeah. Definitely
need to get that skill set. That's the main thing. Yeah. Like, there's no point in investing in shitload of money in camera equipment when you're starting up.
Yeah.
That grows as you grow, as you start leveling up, as you start getting clients, as you start getting a bit more money in the bank. Then you can start looking at investing in gear. Sure, we get to that point where you need to. When you're starting out, it's 100% skill set. And
absolutely.
And,
you will get to a point. And by the way, I'm a heavy believer that gear does matter.
Yeah.
Because without the gear, you will cap yourself at some stage.
Yeah.
However, you don't need as much as you think you do. There is a point where you do need a camera. You do need systems and gear that are going to help you move faster, more efficiently, that will help you get certain outcomes that you're looking for your specific style, or certain things that your clients might want. Like, if someone wants you to film a surf documentary, you need a way to get in the water too, right? So you might need an underwater housing. Again, gear is very specific to how much you need for your specific unique case. However, gear is probably in the top of the priority list to make a profitable, successful video production business.
The best way to look at it.
It's probably at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, sales and marketing comes first, your customer journey, your client relationships, even your mindset comes first. Can you run it? Because like, as you were saying, it takes a certain type of person that is going to push through when things get really hard, and when you're not getting clients, when it's a dry period, when you have team members relying on you. Like, it's difficult, man. It's very, very hard to learn first the concepts. Once you know them, right now you could take away all my cameras, all my gear, all my team, and you know exactly how to get started, how to get it done. But to have all that information, it took me 7 years. To have the information that I have now in order to build a successful business. And again, we're still far from where we're trying to go. But we have got to a point where 6 figures is easy. 6 figures is how did it take me so long to get there? So now it's more of like 7 figures. That's all we're talking about here is building a 7-figure creative business and then teaching people how to do it. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm curious, what's the worst advice you have ever received?
Ooh, good question. Very good question. Worst advice. That's actually a really good question. I'm having to think about that one.
Do you need to speak to your business partner? Totally understand, Henry. Like, but what exactly do you need to think about?
Maybe being told, if things don't work out, you've always got your trade to fall back on. Maybe something like that, because that is great to have, though, as some security. But then there's those moments where you have those struggles. And you're like, maybe that's it. Maybe I do just jump back into that. But you just need to keep pushing yourself. So, I don't know.
I agree with that too. Because if you're always thinking about the plan B, plan A is not going to work.
Yeah.
I'm from the school of thought that you should focus on the one thing and you should believe strongly that it's going to work.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to start analyzing the other options. And in your mind, it's going to be like, oh, maybe let's not push that hard because regardless, we have plan B and C and D and whatever.
Yeah.
So-
I think it's just having faith in yourself
Exactly.
and just keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking. Keep on trucking.
There's a bit of the countryman coming out.
Just keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking.
What's the best advice you have ever received?
To believe in yourself and just push. Just keep pushing. Yeah. 100%. Like other videographers telling me that, like, because you always, everybody does this, but you always, you're always, what's the word I'm looking for? You're always judging yourself. You're always comparing your work. Always comparing your work with other videographers and stuff out there. And you look at them and you're like, oh man, like their work is just incredible. Like I'm nowhere near that level of creating that kind of work. It's like far out, but it's like you're at your level. They might be 10, 20 years ahead of you or just doing something a little bit different. And it's comparing yourself and you're like, that's the worst thing you can do is compare. So, I mean, there's an aspect of it that's great because it's like, whoa, you take something from that, I guess. It's like, okay, I strive to get to that level one day. And that's where you keep pushing yourself. But, yeah, I actually forgot what the question was, but I just started
best advice that you've ever received. But
yeah, it is back yourself.
Yeah.
Just back yourself and just keep on trucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Back yourself and just keep pushing. Keep on trucking.
Yeah,
keep on trucking, brother.
Brother, it's been a pleasure to have you on our podcast. Where can people find you? Where can they get in touch with you? And where can they connect with you?
Man. H. Brockman Media. Instagram's the best place to reach out. Got a Facebook page as well. Hit us up through there. You can check out all of my work. Creating some awesome outdoor adventure-based content for brands and businesses here on the Gold Coast. So, yeah, hit us up through Insta. Let's have a chat. We're offering marketing services as well now. So, if you're looking to level up and get some epic content and get the results you're looking for, reach out. Let's have a chat.
And keep on trucking.
Man, thanks so much. This has been epic. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad, man. I'm glad I took the first time out of you.
My podcast cherry.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to support the podcast so we can help more people get in front of other videographers, filmmakers, creative entrepreneurs, best way to support us is to leave a review and a 5-star on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That's literally what helps the podcast the most. Subscribe on YouTube if you're still not part of the family. Drop a comment. Let us know if you enjoyed this episode and what future episodes you would like to see. I'm at Creator Nelson on every social media platform and at The Creative Grid on every social media platform. I will see you on the next episode and keep on trucking.
Yeah. What a sign off.
How is that, brother?
That was good, man.
Yeah.
I love that, Yeah. I was nervous getting into it, but it's just having a chat. Hey, it's so cruisy.
Yeah.
I actually loved that. Yeah, it was good.
Oh, brother. No, I love this so much. Let me take the thumbnails.